This one did not sweep or swept once only, and then, yeah. So if you follow me there, it's the divergence is very pronounced at that point. So they're manipulating the traders at that point. So this is quite the balance here we're getting. We're into macro.
What time frame is that, Lennox?
These are the 1 minute time frames.
Okay.
Wow, this is the charts are so different.
They are.
Here's the 1, 2, 3 top on the S&P, and look at how small it was on the NAS.
Yeah,
that's quite a difference. And now look at where we are in comparison with price. They've swept the highs, whereas we're not even close to, so it's again divergence up here. So there's a bit more weakness on the NAS in comparison to the S&P at this moment in time. So it's quite the difference. So they're
go ahead.
Yeah, they're really chopping this up to kind of mess everybody up, I think. So let's see what they're really doing. Let's see if we can.
You see, one problem is that you seem to have a red 4-hour candle on the current one, but you have a green one on the second 4-hour candle, and mine's red.
I've got 3 red 4-hour candles on the NAS right now.
Oh, okay. I've got 2 in the third.
So I guess it all depends on what. It looks like there's.
Are you on a future or?
No, I'm just on the NAS. If I go to the futures,
okay. That would
on the futures, I have 2 greens and a red.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is quite 2 greens and a red on the futures for whatever reason. But when I'm on the NAS100 itself, I've got it looks like maybe 1 green there and 2 reds now.
Yeah.
Okay. But it all depends on what time frame I'm on as well. So it seems to change.
Yeah, of course. No, not for the 4-hour candles. It doesn't depend upon the time frame.
It does, because if I go up to the hourly, I'm all red. But if I go back to the 1 minute, I've got a little bit of green. So quite interesting.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're getting that.
Strange.
Let's see if we can catch a little something of this. This is moving very fast right now, so I'm sure everybody's having a hard time making heads or tails of what's going on.
The volatility is outrageous at
very
this
high.
time.
All right,
if you can catch it, you're lucky.
So here's what's going on right now. Then let me go back up. I'm going to go up to the daily. I'm just going to make everybody see what I am seeing, anyways. So we have a 1, 2, 3 here. So we've had this drop. So again, my expectation is that we're coming down to take out these lows. So we'll be looking for them to come down to take out these lows. But of course, we're on a daily, so this is going to take a while to play out. It's taken 1, 2, 3, 4 days for them to drop it down to this level. 1, 2, 3 days to get back up here. Right? 3 days to get back up here, and now it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and we're still stuck in this area here. So So let's figure out what's going on in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and see if we can make heads or tails of what's going on. So going down to the 4-hour, you can see we had a 1, 2, 3 bottom here, and then we went up. So that puts us in a 4th wave. So we're in a triangle in a 4th wave at this point. So we're chopping up and down. So at this point, the low-hanging fruit is right here, this low. So it looks like that's where we're heading to take out that low in the short term. But if that occurs, I would think we could even take out these lows here possibly as well. We should get a bounce back up first to take out these highs. Then we would get this move back down to take out the lows down here. That would make sense because that would give us our structure. So in the short term now, I'm looking for this move down right here. Okay, so let's drop down to the hourly, and that will make more sense. So on the hourly, this is what's going on. We have a 1, 2, 3 up here. This is what's controlling this move. We've dropped. So I'm looking for them to take out this low. So this is what's going on. So in here, I've got a 1, 2, 3 as well, or even the whole thing. We get this drop, they move back up. I'm looking for them to take out this low. So we are starting, we've got a 1, 2, 3 here now on the hourly, and I'm looking for them to come down and take out this low. So everything is pointing to us taking this low out. That's where our destination is. So I'm going to mark this low. Let me see if I can grab this guy, put him down here. And so that's where we're heading, to this low here. Right, so this is the trajectory. So whatever they're doing in here, we don't want to be fooled to be going long, especially on the lower time frames. We want to be, I mean, especially on the higher time frames, I should say. We want to be looking for tops to continue going down. So 30-minute. Now we can clearly see it now. You can see that there's our 1, 2, 3. There's our drop. They move back up. We're coming down to take out this low. Right? So we need to get in here with a 1, 2, 3 tops primarily. We can play the retraces, but you can do that on the lower time frames only. So on the 15, we have a 1, 2, 3 again, and they took out these guys in here with that wick. So that would have been a nice 1, 2, 3 in itself, but they took these guys out. So the 1, 2, 3 starts over here, and now we're again chopping up. So we're looking for them to take out this low now, short term, and these lows short term. Okay, so we're heading to the downside. So on the 5-minute, there we can see it very clearly now. We got a 1, 2, 3 top, another 1, 2, 3 top. We drop. So now we're looking for them to take out this low. So we want to be able to get in on a 1, 2, 3 top in here to come down. So let's see if we can catch that move. So on the 1-minute, this is what's going on. There's our 1, 2, 3 top. We've dropped. We're looking for them to take out this low. We're getting a 1, 2, 3 top. So we can come down and take out the low. So let's see if I can take advantage of that and jump in on a sell, which is just set up right now, right there. So unless they're coming back to take out this high, we should be coming back down. So if that all makes sense, that's kind of how I see it. So I'm gonna take this sell right here because I think we're coming down from here. How's our time? We're at the algo time right now. So where am I going to place my stop? My stop will be just to go up as high as I can on this wick without going to the high of the wick. So just a little bit above. I'm going to get it a little, just a tad, into about, yeah, right there. Okay, so I'm placing my stop just above this candle here, looking for them to continue going down, taking out this low here, and I'm getting a nice move right away, which is really nice. So that's what we want to see immediately. So I'll take. Oh, they're coming back pretty quick on me here. Okay, here we go again. See, I'll take a partial right away just to take something off and lower my risk now. And let's see if we can continue down. So at this point, I've got a 1, 2, 3, and looking for them to take out these lows right here. So it's always the same kind of thing. We go 1, 2, drop. Once they do that, once we get this move starting back up, you want them to come back down to take out this low again. So they'll go back up, come back down, take out that low. So there we go. They're taking out that low. So looking for them. So my target would be the low down here. And that's essentially what we want to do. And so now I can put my stop into positive, so I'm not in a losing situation whatsoever. So and put it just here. You take a risk, of course, always doing that because they can come back with a wick and take you out. But at least then you don't lose. So if they do come back, if they don't come back, then it's all good. At this point, I don't think they're going to be coming back because we're very much in a downward mode here. Okay, so Bitcoin should be doing something similar. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, and it is. You can see Bitcoin is almost identical pattern. We've got a huge 1, 2, 3 there, another one, and then we're dropping. So we would have expected them to take out this low on this side. They have done that, and so we should continue dropping here. So let's take a look at Bitcoin from the daily standpoint. See where we're at with Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is again similar to the NAS. I need to go to the weekly because I can't really see. Everyone's still there? Sometimes you guys go so quiet, I don't know if anybody's there.
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. All right. So on the weekly time frame with Bitcoin, we remember back in beginning of the year, beginning of 2024, over here we started to chop up and down all the way through the year, essentially. So this is from 2024, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We chopped. We were in this fourth wave here. Amazing. So, for most people who don't, if you don't follow Elliott wave and so forth, you don't know that you're in a big chop. So it starts to show itself maybe like April, May, and so forth, June of last year. You start to realize that, oh, they're in a big chop. But eventually we have to come out of that chop. And so this was where we did it. We swept that low right there with that candle. So that gave us a 1, 2, 3 at that point. So that's the key to the current move, believe it or not. And so now we get this big move up here, and now we're chopping again. And so we chopped up and down in there. We did sweep the high. So that sweep right there could tell us a story in that it's either we're at the 5 and we're done, or we're at a 3 at this point, and we're just gyrating. So we got the 5 waves down at this point, coming back down into this level. So I'd be thinking that Bitcoin should be very close to a bottom, and we might not come back down to take out these lows anymore, and we could turn around and continue going back up to take out the highs up here. So that's what I really like to see happen with Bitcoin, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen, of course. But that looks pretty good that that's something that should occur. Okay, so if I go to the daily now, we're just looking at that weekly leg coming down right here. So you can see very, very volatile stuff. Really volatile stuff. So we got this big, huge move here. So they're just chopping, but it's a chop that's our structure. It's just a structure this way. So we're inside this kind of thing. So that's kind of what we're in. We're inside a big, huge diagonal structure. So let me just go over to NAS real quick here on the 1 minute. So I'm seeing that I'm almost at my target already. So they're coming down quite quickly. So I can see that my target is actually, I can even go lower for my target because I have these lows down here. So I could be a little greedier, and instead of taking profits off here, I could drop my target down to these lows down here, right down to that gap there. And then what I can do is come back and move my stop down to lock in more profits. So again, I'm taking a risk doing that because they could stop me out at this point. See if I can get $1,000 out of it. That doesn't look like I can at this point. Okay, so right there. All right, so I'm looking for them to, because I've got a 1, 2, 3 here, and it's quite large, and another 1, 2, 3, that's quite large. they should be able to sweep through here and continue down to the next target area, which is not very far really away. But I'm taking a risk moving my stop down too much because I could get taken out with a wick, right? All right, so let me go back to Bitcoin. Go back to I think I was up here, daily 4 hour. Okay, where was I? Daily? Yeah. So we again, we're in this triangle, and not a triangle, but a diagonal. Sorry, we're in a diagonal like this. But it does have our structure in it. It's just that it's quite volatile, quite messed up. So at this point here, we're looking for price to come down again. Will it take out these lows? We wouldn't expect these lows to be taken, but anything is possible, of course. But the expectation will be that we wouldn't take these lows. All right, so dropping down to the 4 hour, that's kind of where we are right now. So this is our low. We get a 1, 2, 3 here. We went up to this level. So again, they're chopping it up and down. And we would be looking for them to take out these lows in the short term. So this is what's happening right now. We're coming down to take out these lows, more than likely. But again, we're in another chop, but this is more of a triangle this time, right? We're in more of a triangle this way. All right, so dropping to the 1 hour, again, you can see how choppy and messy this is. So we got a 1, 2 over here. We dropped. Oh, I got taken out of my NAS. So that was the risk I took with the NAS. So I can always get back in, which is the beauty of the game. So they moved all the way back up here. So we would expect them to come down and take out these lows down here now. But they came close, but did not. And now they're chopping it up again. So now we have another 1, 2, 3 here. So we would expect them to come down, take out these lows again. So that's all. And that's what's happening. So that's what Bitcoin is looking to do, is come down and take out those lows, because the key right now is this 1, 2, 3 right here. All right, so I keep coming down, and that's what's happening. So we've taken this low. So because we've swept this low here, this is on the 15-minute. So there's our 1, 2, 3. Sweep these lows. We would expect a retrace and then a continuation down to take out this low. So a retrace back up would be a good opportunity for a sell. All right, so 5-minute. There's the structure again. It's the same structure always, right? So at this point, when they come back up here, we're expecting them to take out this low. And then that's what they did. So now we're looking for them to retrace this entire move, come back up, and then continue down, take out this low. So that's, if you can just keep thinking about it in that way, then it makes it a lot easier for you. All right, so let's go back over to the NAS. All right, so they did come back up and take me out. So not bad. For me to move my stop down to lock in the profits, because they've come back quite a ways back up, right? So they didn't break the low. So my target was not touched yet. So if we can get back in again, then we can continue going down. So if I get a fractal here, I could jump back in to continue going down, because everything's still the same. I still have a 1, 2, 3. I still have another 1, 2, 3. We drop, we're moving back up. We're retracing this entire move, and now we'll be looking there. I got my fractal. I'm too slow, can't get in. But that would be the entry to come back down, take out this low and this low. So that was the entry opportunity that I've missed. So I can get in on a fractal, which is a 3-candle formation. We got a high and 2 lower highs. So I would get in as soon as price breaks either the low of the high candle or the open of the high candle. In this case, because it's a green candle, blue candle, which is a bullish candle. So basically, what I'm looking at when I'm going in on a fractal, a fractal is a 1, 2, 3. So if I got another candle here, another candle here, so this is my fractal, and a fractal is just a swing high in this case. So if I want to enter, and if this candle is bullish, if it's a bullish candle, so if it's a green candle, then it opens here, and say we have a wick. This is the low. So if I want to enter, I can enter when this current candle is moving down, and I can enter at the open of the previous. That's when it breaks the open of this candle, or when it breaks the low of the candle, whichever one. And in this case, it was very fast, so it wouldn't have mattered about open or low at that point. But that's your entry, and then so this in itself right here is a 1, 2, 3, and that's why I'm entering on the fractal. A nice little tidbit there that's super powerful. That's a very powerful little piece of information I just passed on to everybody. So I do that I get in on these fractals by using the seconds chart. I go down to 10 seconds. And when you go down to that level, you get to see the formations much quicker, clearer. So for instance, if I show a seconds chart of the current leg, so this current leg right here, you can see this is it right here. So that's what they're doing. Right at that point here at the top, when I said we could get in at that level, this is what they've formed a 1, 2, 3 already, and then they drop it. So I can get in early because I can see the 1, 2, 3 on the seconds chart. This is a 15 seconds. If I go to the 10 seconds chart, the same kind of thing. So there is a fractal there. There's a 1, 2, 3 right there at that point. So I can jump in early. My risk then becomes quite reduced. But you take a risk doing that because you have to be confident that you're at the top of something or the bottom of something in order to make that entry. So here there's a 1, 2, 3 right there. So if I entered on that and kept my stop below, I would be okay on this move up. Same thing here, I'd be okay on this move down. So what we're doing right now is making a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. We would get a retrace of this entire move before we continue down. So looking for that to retrace to continue down, because they're coming back down to the lows. They might sweep those lows, and then we'll get a retrace back up. So we can still enter again to continue going down. So that's the beauty of our 1, 2, 3. It's just 1, 2, 3s are always playing out. Just have to find the right one. So,
Lennox.
Yes, sir.
All right. Part of my struggle is to sometimes I'm getting in at a number 3 point to go up when it's a number 3 point coming down.
Well, the key is to know which direction the overall structure is in. Like I pointed out, right now we're in a downward mode, right?
Or if you're looking at Bitcoin.
Bitcoin?
Yes. I'm looking at Bitcoin.
So Bitcoin is also in a downward mode. So you don't want to be going long at all, unless
it's just a retracement.
Unless it's a retracement, and even then you have to be cautious, because if you have to be in and out quickly, because if the overall move is to the downside, you're taking a risk by going long, right? Because if you decided to go long here when we get to this level, because we're close to a support or whatever you might think, and you decide to go long here, you better be able to get out quickly, because we're in an overall down. So the key is to know what is controlling the move, and it's always going to be a 1, 2, 3 top or a 1, 2, 3 bottom that's controlling the move. So for instance, over here, when we get to this low here, as soon as we get a 1, 2, 3, and the 1, 2, 3 is confirmed when we break the high. However, it doesn't mean that it's going to work, because we can still come down and take out the lows again, right? However, that's the risk you take, right? Because this might not be the low, but if you see a 1, 2, 3 and we go above it like that, you know, we should be feeling, okay, if you didn't get in at this point, then maybe you get another chance here to jump in again. As soon as you see the first 1, 2, 3, that's controlling the move. So you should be confident in going up. You shouldn't be looking to go short. So if we get here, you don't want to go short. If we get here, maybe you want to go short because now your structure has played out. So that's okay. But so now when we get up to the top, again, this is controlling the move. So if we get here, we don't want to go long because we know that this is just the first part of our structure. So this move up, we still expect them to take this guy because that will complete our structure. So now we can look to go long. Now we can go long when we're down here.
That's what I'm saying, because there's a sweep there.
There's a sweep, and our structure is played out. So at this point now we could say, okay, if we get a 1, 2, 3 here, if you're patient to wait for it, then yeah, you could go long here. But again, you have to get out quickly because the overall trend is to the downside. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so don't get mired in going long when you're in an overall downtrend, because you're trying to catch a fallen knife, as they say, and it's tough. So I'd be looking for them to bounce it here at this point, because again we've swept, so we've got 5 waves down. We'd be looking for a bounce at this point, but it's a tough one. I mean, are we going to get a bounce here? We should, right? But there's no guarantee. Look at the NAS; it's still coming down to take out the lows. So had I been able to get in on this little move here, where were we? Right here, right? Yeah. So that was the retrace. So that's a nice entry there, right? And then we get a 1, 2, 3, and they move back up again, see? And then that's our 1, 2, 3. So whether I get in on the fractal, which is a better entry, or I wait for the 1, 2, 3 and get in there, catch that move for them to take out this low. So now that we've finished taking out the low, this entire move is complete. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'd be looking for a retrace to continue going down. So if we get a retrace, then so we could play this move up, but the better move is to play it down, right?
Yeah.
So if you're nimble, you can play up and down, up and down, up and down, and that's, you know, I do that sometimes if there's room to go. So in this instance here, from the high to the low, let's see, from here to here, I'd be looking for at least a 50% retrace, which is right here. So you look for them to come back up in here, and then look for a 1, 2, 3 to come back down again.
Okay.
Right? But I don't want to be going long. You know, I wouldn't expect them to go take out these guys up here, because this is what's controlling the move. So we don't expect them to really come into this area too much anyways. Maybe with wicks, but that's about it. So we're in algo time, and not much of an algo happening really. It's still very choppy. So are we getting a bounce on the Bitcoin as well at this point?
But it's kind of you're getting a slight bounce, yes, but I can see where you have equal lows there, so you would expect them to come back down after taking out um, the immediate highs.
Is Peter with us? Peter, are you there? Don't know if he's. I heard him earlier. Oops, don't know what I just did. Just trying to see if Peter will answer us. So I was looking for a little bit of a bounce on Bitcoin, but it's saying, so we've got a 1, 2, 3, got another one. Can we get a little bit of a bounce here? Or do they still want to come and take out these lows first? So how can we know if they're going to take out these lows or go bounce? You have to look above and see where is the 1, 2, 3 that's controlling the move. So right now, this is the 1, 2, 3. So at this point, they're just chopping it. So we could get a little bit of a bounce, but it would probably be fake, and then we'll continue down one more time. So just by seeing a 1, 2, 3 right away, when we get here, we know, okay, wow, if they start bouncing, they're going to take this low out. But because we know where we are now, they can do whatever they want here. They can chop it up. They can go up like that. They can do that. They can do whatever they want, and before they take that low. So that's why we get the fourth waves. Right? So they're chopping it, so they can come back up, take these guys out, and then drop it. So sometimes they're so I mean, most of the time it's very difficult to figure out what they're doing in here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. Once you start getting confident with this stuff, then you know it becomes a great challenge to try to figure out what they're doing.
I got out at what was my 262% from the first 1, 2, 3 down.
Okay, so they've broken that low. That's good though, George. We're looking for a bounce here.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know if they, again, we've got so much selling pressure right now with lease prices.
Yeah.
So I'll go kicked in at 10.
Well, that's not a good algo in my mind.
It's not great. It's this was our first gap right here. So it looks like they can come back up to that gap. Come back up to this gap here. And then we could see a continuation down. If we get this bounce, that is. I mean, there's no guarantee we're going to get a bounce here, but that's what I'd be expecting at this point, since we've swept these lows. And we look at our structure, and we should be at a point where we should be looking for a bounce, but not necessary that we should get a bounce, but you kind of expect one. So from here, I got a 1, 2, then a drop. So we're very much close to that now. So I can see I have another line here. So they're taking out all the lows now to the left, right?
Yeah, so they're still moving lower.
So that was my original target on my trade. Had I not moved my stop down so much, I would have hit my target here. But that's all good. So on the 5 minute, let's take a look. 15, can't see line. Yeah, so there we go. So they're taking out all of those. We're coming into a higher gap from a higher time frame, like the hourly or something, even higher than the hourly 4 hour. Yeah, so no, it's not even a 4 hour gap. Wow, what a gap is that? Can't even tell what that is. So let's go back down 15. It's a 15-minute gap. Actually, maybe it's a 30. Yeah, it's a 30-minute gap that I had marked off. So there's a 15-minute gap as well. partially taken out. So that's where we're coming into. But these gaps, these gaps doesn't mean that we have to come in and, these gaps, you go through them anyways, because they're heading for the lows, right? So these gaps are kind of, a little, maybe you get a little bounce in here and then we continue. They're not really support areas that push price back up. We just kind of cut right through them, So we would expect on this move here that we'd come back down into this area, and that's what we've done that now. We've come all the way back down to this area, but then once they break through this area, then the only next level for them to go to is these lows. So that's where they're heading. So it's just a matter of being able to get on the train and get a ride, get in a nice seat, and you can see this would have been a nice play. If you could have stayed in that trade, it would have been a great play to down to that level at least. So I'm looking for a bounce here still, but they're saying we're not ready for a bounce yet. But we're very close, though. I can tell because our structure is telling me that, yeah, we should be close to. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So another 1, 2. Yes, boy, this thing is just relentless to the downside, eh? So what's killing us here in the markets?
I don't. The news was kind of mixed this morning.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even look at the news. What did we have for news today? So it's 17th. U.S. unemployment claims, eh? So actual is down from what they were forecasting. So that's a good sign, isn't it? Unemployment claims are down. That should be good. So obviously that didn't help.
I couldn't make sense of what was going on, even with housing in there later on. And
housing starts are down. Building permits are up. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, they forecasted 2.2 and they came in at minus 26.4. So maybe that was the culprit.
Maybe, but I think it's probably more has to do with tariffs still.
Yeah.
But
more than likely. Yeah.
This is the great misunderstood concept, I think.
Well, that's the thing about looking at the fundamentals of the markets. It's so many different factors that it's very difficult to pinpoint. Is it tariffs? Is it Fed manufacturing? Is it unemployment? Is it interest rates? Is it there's so many variables. Whereas when we look at the markets using the charts, there are only a few variables, very few. I mean, you're either going up or you're going down or you're going sideways, essentially. Right? So,
well, I think ignoring the news is not a good idea.
Well, being aware that there's news, yes, but sometimes news can come unannounced, right? So.
Oh yeah. Our next level in the futures should be 18,116, which is bottom found on 3 o'clock on Wednesday.
I cannot reach Peter.
No, I wasn't able to see him either. I looked on Skype to see if he was there, and I couldn't find him. I think he was added to the system simply because whenever we transferred to Teams, it brought over all the people.
But I was hearing him at first because he had music playing.
Uh-huh.
So he was there. I've typed to him, but he is not responding.
No, because I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have Teams up.
It doesn't matter. You can still get on with Skype.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's good to know.
When he had his music playing, did you mute him or did he mute himself?
I muted him.
It's possible that he may not know how to unmute it.
He knows how to unmute.
No, that won't. I don't think
Teams,
that would do anything.
If it's different on Teams.
He doesn't have Teams. He's using Skype.
I was trying to see if I could figure out something based upon Skype. I have both of them open at this point. And I was not successful in getting a hold of him.
Right. So yeah, looking at Tesla also having a downward spiral. So you can see with Tesla, they are also looking to take out the lows down here.
Yeah. I had an 18270 on my futures that I had tagged very early in the week, probably Monday, and that's where we came down and stopped at that. It's sort of, I think it's right on target. Let me see. No, it was one handle under that. But that's where it's stalled at this point. I'm on a 10-minute chart. Let me get down a little lower. It's 269. It's the strength of the downside is so strong. And our ATR is still quite strong. VIX went up one more point to 32.25. I don't know. It may be that we missed the up move that we're looking for, Lennox.
No, they're trying now. So you can see now we've got a 1, 2, 3. So I'm right. This dotted line tells me I'm right in the middle of that huge gap from the 15, 30-minute time frame. So we're right in the middle of that gap. We've had quite the move down here. And now we're getting a 1, 2, 3 bottom. So let me just take a look see what S&P is doing right there. And it's doing the same thing. So we're not getting any divergence. So I'm looking for them to give us a 1, 2, 3 that will take us above this high here. So will that happen?
Yeah, I've got my Heiken Ashi 5-minute chart is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down candles. Yeah. So
if they take this low again, that means we're not done going down. But right now we could see a move back up to take out this high, give us a 1, 2, 3 to come back up. But if they take that low, then we're not done going down. And they did. So this is how they fake you, Omar. You see, they make it look like it's 1, 2, 3. So if you jumped in too early, they take you out. So
I'm kind of amazed that they don't start pushing up a bit to grab more.
This is quite a relentless drop here. So
it certainly is, and I don't want to jump in now because as soon as I jump in, they'll start the up move. Although there's no guarantee of that, we just 1, 2, 3.
All right, so essentially right now we're getting a sweep of the low. So I'm still looking for a move back up, but the only way a move back up is going to be legitimate is if we break the previous high. So if you can be patient, you can wait for the previous high to be broken, retrace, and then we get the entry to go back up.
With this kind of strength, I'm not going to try to do any counter trend trade.
But look at that entry from here, that entry I was talking about. If we'd entered there, that's a great, really beautiful move all the way down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we just really have to be nimble. And you had two chances to get in. You could get in there, or you wait for the 1, 2, 3 there to jump in at that point. And then they gave you another retrace there. That's another entry. So they keep doing that, breaking those lows, retracing a little bit, breaking the lows. So this one, a small retrace.
Maybe they're going to start one now.
Yeah, this could be it. So if they break this high here, that's a good sign as well. So this would be an early entry to continue up. But this would be the better breach at that point. All right, so let's see where we are now. So this would be my low here. So 50% still takes me back way up here. So I'm getting a fractal right now. So that I could enter on a fractal.
Well, the fractal disappeared.
I'm not really super confident about entering on a fractal at this point, even though my risk is low, because we've been coming down so relentlessly that they can easily come and take you out. So I would prefer for them to break the high here and close above it, ideally. A little bit of a retrace. Then I would be feeling a little more confident about the move. So again, I can follow along in my seconds chart to see what's going on, and that helps. So there we've broken that high. It looks like we're going to close above that high. So now I'd feel confident. If we break this high, that's even more confidence in the move back to the upside. So do I really want to play that to the upside? You can, right? But just know that it's just a counter trend move. So Bitcoin's doing this. Bitcoin's doing the same thing.
Good fair value gaps in here.
Well, if I was putting a fair value gap in, this one currently being formed would be the ideal. Other than that, there isn't anything else. So now we've broken the previous high. So we're looking for a retrace back into our gap, and that would be our 1, 2, 3, and we're off. So that's the symbol of the 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So there's our 1, our 2, and then look for a retrace to 3.
So it just went into the gap.
So Bitcoin's doing a similar thing, but you can see Bitcoin made a quick 1, 2, 3 right there. So there's my fractal, and I could enter as soon as we break that.
Wait, no, you don't have a fractal. Well, the future doesn't show a fractal now. This is the candle that would be the start of the fractal, but it's still open.
Okay, so looking for a retrace back into this gap. Let's see if we get it.
Which gap? That big gap?
Yeah.
Where the heck did you find that gap? That looks like a 50 Fibonacci level.
On the 1-minute chart, on the futures, on the futures itself there, I don't see a gap, but
no, I'm not seeing either on the future.
That's here, there is one. So we're getting quite the move up. They're not even retracing as yet. So we're almost at the 50% level already on this push. So that's why I love the fractal entry. If you're brave enough to take the trade at the fractal, then your risk is reduced and you catch the move, because sometimes they don't give you the retrace. You're sitting here waiting for them to pull back, and they say, no, we're not pulling back at all. So that's how you miss a lot of trades, but it's okay. You know, it's learning. You understand that doesn't always have to pull back by much. That is, you know, see, there is a pullback, but it's not by much. Right now, that's our pullback so far. So now it's trying again. We get a high, so it's trying to pull back again, so we could still come back down into this area. And then we can come all the way down to 100%, and it's still legitimate as long as we don't break that level, and we can still bounce. Right? So you have to be aware that that can occur. So we're coming up to 15 minutes to go in our session already. That's so quick. So made a couple of nice trades there, and that was it. Done.
Well, those trades are nice, though.
Yeah, very, very quick, and made almost $2,000 on those trades.
I'm looking for more of a push upward on this thing. On the futures, you would have your fractal if this current candle doesn't eclipse it. This is where they should start playing games to see if they can convince people to go in and take out their stops in. I'm not seeing Norman.
So this was really the move, but the play was from the top here to the downside.
Yeah. We looks like we just eclipsed the top again.
Stacy, are you there? Are you there?
Yep, I just came on.
Hi, Stacy.
So how did you get on, Stacy?
I'm on my desktop. I just put Meet Now on the
okay.
the chat,
and it works. Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same on my phone.
I don't know how I haven't tried it on the phone, so I think George was trying it on his phone yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
He said that, but on the phone you can't see a screen. You can't see my screen. That's, I think, because.
Yeah, I couldn't see the screen on my phone. I could, see that I was on, and.
So this is just, so at least I know it's working. Everybody's here. I'm using Teams.
Yeah,
Peter can use Skype. Whoever's using Skype, you can still use Skype, but of course they're going to be, taking it away next month. So you need to switch over to Teams. But he was there earlier. He was.
I'm here.
Oh, you are.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
So you've been here all this time hearing me, Peter?
Yep.
And you didn't answer me?
Well, I was trading. I can't.
You
trade.
can't answer me and trade at the same time?
No, I can't do both.
Okay, no problem. So there we go. So Peter was here all the time. So I was concerned because I didn't know. Okay, your picture is there, but I don't know if you're really hearing me and so forth. So
yeah, I don't see how to join on my phone in this. But right now I don't see anything on a screen. Like I just see the meeting.
All right. So do you okay? So if you hover over your icon on the desktop there, you see two windows.
I've got it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I maximized it.
Yeah.
but I don't get it on my phone. Like I can't seem to.
Yeah, I don't think it'll
No,
work on the
I
phone.
wasn't able to
There's not
either.
enough real estate on your phone for that. And you wouldn't, if you were looking at this chart on your phone, you're not going to see much.
I can usually do it with Skype. I can see it fairly well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
Skype works.
there must be a way then. There must be a way, because it's the same app. Even if I'm using it on the iPad, it's still the same app, right?
Okay, it looks like we might be at that point of getting our turnaround.
Yeah, this is slow motion now, even at this time of day. So
Yeah,
we're coming into
well,
a macro time, 10
Yeah.
minutes to the hour. So I'm looking for a retrace still. So let's see how it looks
Well,
on
you
the
should
5.
you should have a fractal now, though.
Oh, we've had a fractal from a while ago, but
A while ago is like 3 minutes ago.
well, the fractal painted at 10:39, 10:40.
Oh no, my first fractal on here that is
Fractal going
live
which way?
now is 10:46.
A fractal going which way? Down or up?
Down. Well, it's just been violated right now.
Oh no, I'm not looking for a down fractal right now, George.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Why?
That was a down fractal on.
Well, why are you looking for a down fractal?
You're looking for an up fractal?
No, the up fractal would have been at 10:39, 10:40. So I'm not looking for a down fractal at this point. Why are you looking for a down fractal? To retrace or to I don't know, why are you saying?
To go back down.
To go back down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not looking to go back down as yet, because okay, so this whole move from high to low, we have to retrace it. So
Right.
we're not
right
looking
now
for a
the
down fractal
retrace.
yet. I mean, I guess it could happen here, but I would think that we would go up higher first before we get that move down, right? So not looking for it to go down yet is what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's just a question of how early it's going to be. We haven't quite reached 38% yet of the down move.
No, so that's why I'm not looking for a down fractal yet. Essentially, where we are right now, we've got a 1-2 here, and we're in a fourth wave. So I'm looking for another push up to take us above 50% before I would start looking for a 1, 2, 3 top to come back down. So then I would be looking for a fractal up here.
Right.
So if that makes sense. So yes, right now they're coming back down into this gap. So if we can touch that gap, then that would be a buy to go up if I wanted to buy at that point, because I'm still looking for them to take out these highs. So if that makes sense, that's kind of what I'm seeing. So essentially, here's what's going on. We came down to this low here. We move up. They came back down. They swept the low. So once this sweep is done, then we look for a sweep here. So they swept that high. And so now we're looking for a retrace and then a continuation back up again. But in this whole move here, this whole move right here, there's a 1, 2, 3 right here. But you can't see it on the 1 minute as clearly. It's there, but it's not clear. So if I showed you on the 15 seconds chart, that same move, you see? So this is the same thing. They swept. Then they made this 1, 2, 3 right there. See? So that little 1, 2, 3, you don't see it on the second, but it's there. And then here
I've
now
got
we're
two
chopping.
1, 2, 3s on my tick chart.
So right now we're just chopping in a fourth wave, coming back into the gap right here. So if you wanted to buy it, now would be a time to buy, to go back up to take out these highs. So if everybody understands what I'm showing them, this is what's going on.
I see. It's just a question of what they want to do. Because they didn't quite hit the 38% level, which means it should go up higher, but I think they're just playing games with us right now to get people to go in so that they can go back up and grab more lots.
So this now becomes a buy opportunity here. So
well,
if
that's for people that like counter trend trades.
If you're nimble, you can play this to the upside. But the only thing about playing that is that they might not go up very high. So there's 50% of the move from this high down to this low. So they might just come up just a touch and then we're going again. So it's not really a great buy at this point.
No.
You know, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. So I wouldn't be buying it. No,
I would not either.
I mean, you can, you know, I mean, if you look at how many handles it is from where we are currently to that line, this is 270 here. And then from here is 220. That's 50 handles. That's not bad, right? It's not a terrible 50 handles. It's 50 handles, right? So you have to look at it in terms of, you know, is it worthwhile to take a trade for 50 handles or not, right? And certainly is most of the time. 10 people go for 10 handles, 5 handles, right? So they could do this, come one more time, take out that low, drop it down in here, and then we get that move up. So they can still take out this low. I would actually expect them to take out that low, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to. So it's very slow motion right now. Super slow motion here.
Oh, Lennox, I went off just now. So what is your take on, well, I don't want to distract because you might be anticipating a setup.
What's your question?
Well, what is your take on Bitcoin?
Okay, so Bitcoin is doing a similar thing to NAS, right? So they're just retracing the current move. So if I go back up to the 5, this entire move is just being retraced right now.
Okay.
So again, all you have to do is just put your fib on and mark out 50, you know, where 50% is of this move. And so I just let me click it back on. So 50% takes me to, we're very close to it already. So I'm on the 5 minute there. So if I go back to the 1 minute, so we know where 50% is. So I'm looking for, so this would have been a good entry on here to go back up to 50%. So they've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We're chopping up. So they could take this low and then continue up one more time, right? To come into 50%. So that's what they're doing. But the best play would be to come back down, right? To take out these lows.
Yes.
But this would have been a good play from here to the upside, right? But now we're a little bit high up into our 4th wave area. So it's not such a great play anymore to go to this level.
Yes.
You see how they're pushing it back up again.
But you see, that's the tough part when you're trading is, you know, are we at that low? If you know that if you feel confident that you're at that low, then when you get a fractal or a 1, 2, 3, then you know that you take that entry, you can make quick profits.
All right. If you look at, here's a challenge because another question. Same Bitcoin here, and if you look at I think it's a 5 minute. That's the
Okay,
5.
so bear with me 1 sec. I'm just
Okay, no problem.
okay. So now they've, like I said, they likely take that low. So once they take that low, this is a buy to go back up. So I'm going to just buy this because I can show you that you can take this now to the upside, because now I know I have over 50 handles to get back up to my 50% area. So I can buy that. My risk is very low. And so my risk is right here at the low of this candle. So I'll take that trade all day long, like, you know, and if I'm wrong, I get taken out here, and that's it. So that's my risk. But if I'm correct, then I get this move to up to this level, and I make good profits. So if they take me out, then I was dead wrong, obviously, right? And it's okay to be wrong. You know, I always say, right? You're never going to get it right every time, but so it looks like they want to take me out. So thought that would be enough for them. That's a sweep. We got a 1, 2, 3 forming. We should be going back up without taking that low again. So unless I'm totally wrong and we're not going to take out these highs, then I get taken out, and then we continue down and take out the lows. So that would be just a quick retrace here. But I'm expecting them to go up one more time. So, but it's just an expectation. I could be wrong, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but
All right. So
the
Bitcoin.
expectation is based upon really good analysis of the chart, I think.
All right.
I mean,
So
I just think that they're trying to get as many people in so they can go up and grab a lot more lots for the liquidity that's sitting up there.
all right. So they took me out. So I was wrong, and that's all there is to it, right? So that's
You were
risk you
wrong on
take.
what? You were wrong on going up.
Yes. So at this point, because they said no, they haven't finished, so they're
Yeah.
taking out this low. But
They
I
just
could
take
still
that
be
low.
right. I could still be right. They still go up there, but it's just that they
I
took me
think
out again. Right?
I think you're still right, Lennox.
Yeah, it's just, and that's the risk you take right there by doing
Yeah.
As you're pointing that out, Lennox, sometimes what I am I'm trying to do, but sometimes it works against me. I try to keep my stop like at the low, because if I think that is the low, then I keep my stop at the low. But sometimes it's too tight and they take you out.
Well, if it's a valid 1, 2, 3, then we shouldn't be taken out down here, right? So this wasn't a valid 1, 2, 3, so that's why they came back and took it. So this move in here wasn't complete. So I wasn't even looking at my seconds chart, because let's see what my seconds chart was saying. Okay, so this is where the seconds chart comes in so powerfully, because if you can see the structure in this move, let me just clear everything. If you can see the structure in here, in this move here, so at this point, so I was getting in, I was putting my stop under here, I believe, right? So there, look at the structure. So they came and took it out one more time. You see, that's why I got taken out, because it wasn't done. It wasn't done yet.
There.
Yes, you see. So on the seconds chart, they weren't complete, but I didn't look at the seconds chart. I just looked at this as being the low. But inside of that move, there was 5 waves to be finished. You see. So now this is the true low, and we shouldn't take this low now, and we should get that move back up. So I could say, okay, since they took me out there, let me jump back in again. So let me see if I'm correct this time. I should be okay, because this is the low now. They've swept it, so I should be okay at that low. But again, doesn't mean I'm going to be right. So I'm showing you this. I'll take a hit again if it happens, but that's fine.
But because your stop is tight, so that is the advantage of doing it like that.
Yeah, my stop is, my risk is very low. But if they take that low again, then I was wrong.
They came right down again.
They came very close to taking me out, right? So look at how close they are, and it looks like they want to take it out. And they did again. So you see, they're not done. So what are they doing? They're playing games in here. They're just chopping it up and down. See? So it's a
Yeah,
whole different ball
you're-
game. You're thinking that you're at the bottom, and what they're doing is they're just chopping up and down. So again, they've swept. So sometimes I'll do this 3, 4, 5 times. I'll get stopped out, and it's like, okay, I know they're going to go up there, so I'm determined to get in, and that move up will take care of the, you know, the 3, 4, 5 losses that I've gotten here. You understand?
I am wrapping my head around that part of your strategy, and it really works, because sometimes what you would want to do, what you're tempted to do, is to move down your stop further.
No, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and they still take you out for a bigger loss.
Yeah, if you move your stop, then you know, you'll get taken out, and you're getting a bigger loss. So it's not the way to do it. Just take the small loss.
Yeah. And
you know, if you get it right, then you get that move, and you're going to make all that money back. Plus, so, but sometimes it's really tough because they're just playing games in here and chopping it up to get as many people to put their stops in here as possible to get those cheap prices so they can go, right? Yeah. So that's their game. That's their ploy, and they do it beautifully. You have to give it to them. So we look at it all this time. We're still stuck in this gap, right? This gap is holding price. All they're doing is staying in the gap. So again, I got a fractal. So this is again another entry. So I'll do it again. I'll buy it again because I've got a fractal. So am I going to be wrong again? Maybe, right? Maybe not. So I'll put my stop below. So that's my risk. Now let's see if I can get up to the 50% level on this move. So with one trade, if I'm correct, I can make all those losses back.
Yes, because it's a strategy that I have. I mean, I've watched you doing it, and I realize it's a good way.
Now we're going positive.
So the expectation is that they will take the highs and take us up into about the 50% level. So at that point, you know, I would say, okay, you know, time to exit stage left, because they can just sweep this really quick and turn it around. So look at how much I've made on that move. So
well, we just went above the 1050.
So I'll close it there and take the profit. I don't even have to go any higher, because I don't know if they're going to go up to 50%. And they did.
You should get back all your profits now.
I did, and that just like that, just in one quick move.
Right? One of the things though, Lennox, like if you look to the left there on the leg down, there is no gap, so it's possible that they could go higher.
On this leg down. So yes. I'm looking at the 50% as a target, because once they sweep this high, doesn't mean that they have to go much higher than that, because our structure, remember, this is our structure now. So that could be right where we're going. Yes, they could take out this high, certainly.
And the others.
There's another gap here, so they can go up to these levels as well, right? So
yes.
But again, looking just to get out of 50% is still good. So quick profits to that, made all my losses back. Maybe I break even or whatever, but that's fine, right? You know. So you see, they are going higher. I could have stayed in longer and so on. I could have moved my stop up. All that kind of stuff, right? So that's just to show you that we are stuck in a fourth wave here, and they chop it up, but it does have structure in there. So this is the takeaway. Inside all that stuff, there's structure.
We're going up to the 62% as a possibility, but if they don't just stop at the 50% level.
But this is what they're doing. They're chopping it up and down like that, but there's structure in there. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, and so on. This is what's going on, but it's very difficult for you to see that on the 1 minute time frame. Then you get the move, the expected move, because they want to take out these guys up here.
Because I am on Teams, how much time is left? Or you will end this session at the end of the.
Yeah, this is when I at 11 o'clock Eastern is when I'm ending the session actually. So we're at the time of ending right now.
Okay.
So yeah, because I want to go back to bed and sleep now. Because I've been up since.
You want to miss all the action.
I think all the action has passed. We're coming into a lull time now. So the action the action is from 9:30, right? 9:30 till about 11 o'clock. So that, right?
Oh, sorry. So you think that is a good time to look for the setups?
Well, the 9:30 till 11. Let's see, where is 11? Right there. So that's the time right there. 9:30 till they open till 11 o'clock. This is when the market's really, 11 o'clock here. I think New York session is ending, right? Around this time, 11 o'clock?
No, there's usually, I find it goes, quite often I get a good plays at 11 to 12.
Yeah, so.
But the setup is, the move to the upside is taking place after 11.
Yeah, and again, this is just a retrace, right? That we're in right now.
We're in the retrace right now.
Because we're just retracing this entire move down. And so I was just looking at this leg, never mind, as a retrace. So but there's a bigger retrace happening as well, you see? So at this point, we have a 1, 2, 3 at this level. So we can go much higher too, because we're retracing. You see how as you move up the time frames, everything changes. So we can retrace higher up even. But when you're down on the 1 minute time frame, you want to just kind of take the low hanging fruit, as it were, right? So that's why I was looking for the 50% level as an exit area. So that's my structure at that point to there. Now it gives us a whole new structure that can still go higher, possibly.
Yeah, it looks like they want to try to tag the 62% level.
And then Bitcoin has done a similar thing. See, Bitcoin is really rocking out now. So they did the same thing 1, 2 in here, and looks like 3, 4, 5. That's our, they chop it up a little bit. Now they're taking off. So what are they doing? They're on the higher time frame. They're retracing the entire move here. So this whole thing, there's 50%. They've already busted that, and they're retracing that entire move, and they're up to 70, almost 72% already. So there's a 1, 2, 3 there now. So are they going to take these highs out? It's possible, but I don't think they're going to, but it's possible. Because our overall trend is to the downside. So we wouldn't want to see them take that high out, really, if we're going to continue down, that is, right? But it's possible because, again, when you go higher, we're in a chop. You see?
That is the time frame I was.
Yeah, we're in a big chop, so they can go back up and take out these highs, no problem. You see? So when you look at it from a higher time frame, it becomes a totally different thing. So,
oh no, not that time frame. Sorry. If you could look at the 5 minute, I think, when you get a chance. No, I'm not seeing the plate. Probably you would have to make it a bit smaller.
So that's why you go up higher. Go to the 15.
Oh, so I guess the 15.
Yeah, because
I'm trying to look for the play that I saw, and the intention was to go to the low, and it did eventually go to the lows. But
they swept that low here.
I think that's the 15. I think that is it. Yes, but look how I was in the play. I was in the plate at the top in the middle there. Yes, and I think I came out somewhere after it started retracing because I went to bed and I left it on and went to bed and I realized it was retracing on me. So I said, let me take the profit. But I was looking for the play to turn back down to sweep the lows there to your left. Yes, and then I didn't get in. I didn't get back in because sometimes it's because they went so high. I probably started to wonder if they are going to take out the highs one more time. And
well, it's very tricky in here because first of all, we're inside this kind of structure. First of all, right? They're chopping everybody up, and so this is very difficult trading. Very difficult to trade.
Yeah,
because you're in a big. If you understand and realize that you're in some kind of diagonal pattern or triangle pattern, then that's a big, huge start for you to understand that what kind of structure you're in. But it's very difficult, even for myself, with all this experience with this stuff, I can still get it wrong. So what I'm trying to do is to simplify everything, and that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, simplify it. Just look at what is controlling the current move. Is it a 1, 2, 3 bottom or is it a 1, 2, 3 top? So if you can discern that, then that's all you need to do is just to catch that little quick move, just like what I just showed you there in the NAS. Catch that quick move, take your profit and get out. Because if you start sitting in there thinking, oh, I can go, for 150 handles,
yeah,
all that, you're just gonna get eaten alive.
Because the setup looks so good, and you say, all right, I'll go to the lows.
You can't do that. Not when you're down in the lower time frame. I mean, yes, you can. I mean, you can catch. You've seen me take long moves and so forth, but you have to be really, really confident going with the trend and so forth. I mean, this is a nice looking 1, 2, 3 right here that certainly can take us up quite a ways, right? So I got out of this. Sorry, that's Bitcoin, but if you got in here, you can certainly take it up, but there's nothing wrong with taking profits off.
Yeah, it's always good to do that because you just never know what.
You're never wrong taking profits.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think anybody's ever cried about taking profits. I mean, people do. Oh, I got out too early or whatever. But whatever, yeah. Right? You can always get back in, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the key here with Bitcoin is that we're in a very messy, choppy affair here, and it's very difficult playing. They're just manipulating because the overall structure is from the higher time frame. It's the bigger hedge funds or whoever bigger boys are playing here, and they're looking for a big move. So they're manipulating, chopping up, accumulating all that kind of stuff in order to make a big move. This is the move I think is going to happen, but we're chopping up in here before we get that. They're going to come back up to take out these highs.
Yes.
That's what the whole thing is about. The guys with the big money are accumulating and so on. So yeah, on the lower levels here, we can certainly make some money, but you just want to be doing it quick in and out. If I went to the hourly, we used to trade only on the hourly, right? On the hourly on Bitcoin, it's very difficult here because we're in such a chop. I mean, it's very difficult to play on the hourly because our setups aren't clean. It's so, look at these wicks and things. They're just killing people with wicks. Right? It's very difficult to play. So here's a good looking 1, 2, 3 there. So that would have been a nice play on the hourly, right? You go back up to that previous high. So that 1, 2, 3 there is really sweet. And there's our structure. So once I get to this level here, then I would be looking for a new 1, 2, 3. But look at how difficult it is to see it. You see, they come down. There it is, but it's like ridiculous, right? It's boom, boom, with 3 candles and you're done. Whereas this one took like 10 candles to make form. So it's very, very difficult to play.
Yeah, it's better on the lower time frame, definitely.
Yes, because again, if you understand that you're inside a big, huge structure that's doing this kind of stuff.
Okay, we just hit 62% on the NAS.
On that retrace, yeah. So it's better for you to be on the lower time frame in a chop. But when it's in a trending move, they used to go up to the daily, for instance. Even on the daily, it's choppy. On the weekly here, when you're in a nice trend, you can play off the the hourly and so forth and make some nice moves. But when you're in a chop, it's very difficult. So that's the key takeaway there. So yeah, we've pushed back up quite a bit here. So look at how much they've come back up on. We're over 70. We're at 79% retrace of that. So NASDAQ, the retrace of this move. Let me put it onto the whole thing from the low. We now on the NAS we've actually hit 50% of this entire retrace. So had I just moved up to the 5-minute time frame and looked at this structure here, I could have said, okay, I can stay in to 50% up here on that 5-minute time frame. But I was on the 1-minute time frame looking at only this leg, right? So that's why I was only going 50% of that leg. So your frame of reference is very important.
As you mentioned that, if you look at, it's not a huge instrument for you, but it's gold euro. If you look at gold euro,
okay, I've got gold euro here now because yeah, I know that you're looking at it. So again, so we're still in the strong. I got to look at it from the higher time frame first. We're still in the strong. Okay, so we're getting a retrace now.
Yeah.
So I can see what they're doing right away, right? So we get this move. They're retracing this move. So what would we expect?
Take out the highs.
Take out the highs, right? Because that's our structure. So we would expect that we could even we come even down to here, and then they would still go back up and take out those highs. So, but
yeah,
just because of that, I can do this. I can say, okay, since they've moved from here to here, I can calculate that and say, okay, let's see. I'm looking for them to just retrace 38 to 50%, right, of that move. So 38 to 50% puts me right there. So they're right in that sweet spot. There's a gap here. So I can mark that gap, and maybe they might go back into that gap as well, right? So you look at it in different ways. So using the gap, put the gap in at that. Okay, so can they come all the way down here? Sure they can, right? They could, right? So 1 hour, they could come all the way down into this gap. You can see that's possible. So what's controlling the move? This guy. Then we get another drop. So yeah, they can come down here first before they do that. Right?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Right. So we know that would be an expectation. Again, they don't have to do it, but that would be expectation.
Yeah, it's good to look at the higher time frame, but sometimes it's more difficult to it's clearer when you go lower down.
Yeah, so that's why I keep coming down. So at this point, I can see that we're in a down. So I would want to keep coming down the time frames to see, is there a possibility for me to get in to catch a turnaround or continue down in the move? If there's room for us to come down to this level, is it worthwhile enough points there for me to make some profit? Otherwise, I'll just wait for the turnaround. Right? So that would be.
Do you think the retracement to the upside is finished, or you think well, it's hard to see it on the 30.
Well, again, I just said, because we have a gap here, we could certainly come into that gap first before we get that move back up, right? So now as you go down the time frame, now I go to the 30, I'm looking for what's controlling the current leg. What's controlling that current leg? It's got to be a 1, 2, 3 top. So this is the key. So now I can see that, yes, they more than likely going to come and take out this low and come down into this gap. So you can see it just from looking at it that way. So if I go 15-minute, now we see it much clearer. There is our 1, 2, 3 top. There is our drop. So you know where you are now, right? Yes?
You're in the fourth wave.
Yes. So what's going to happen next? They're coming to take this low, right?
Yeah, but my question is if they're finished going retracing to the upside.
We don't. Well, that's where you have to go down to the lower time frames now. So right now we know where we are. So as long as you know where you are, this is the whole key to everything. If you know where you are on the chart, then you have a fighting chance. But if you don't know where you are, then you're dead, because you're just a target, right? If you don't know where liquidity is, they say, then you are the liquidity, they say, right? So if you're out being hunted and you have a target on your back or on your front, and you can't hide, you're dead. So this is what's happening. So we got a 1, 2, 3 top, we drop. So now we know we're in a fourth wave, but we know that fourth waves are dangerous. So we don't know what they're going to do in here. They can chop it up, they can do all kinds of stuff, right? So we don't know what they're going to do. So you have to be aware of that. So either you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go in on the lower time frame and try to catch this move to take out these lows, or you're going to wait for this low to be taken and then wait for your 1, 2, 3 to go back up. So that's your choice. Going into the fourth wave to play is dangerous. Right? So, all right. So I'll keep going down 5-minute. So now we can see the structure much more clearly. So you can see we have a 1, 2, 3 there. So now this is what's controlling the move. So now we can see that, okay, we would expect them to take out this high. Then we would look for a 1, 2, 3 to come down. You see?
Yes, that's what I was
yes.
thinking.
So
that should take over at that high.
Yeah, so that would be the expectation. Now I dropped it to 1 minute. And then I'll be looking at this and I say, okay, we're in a fourth wave, obviously, right? So there's our A, B, C, D. So we would expect them to take out the high, come back up to the top of this, give us a 1, 2, 3 up here to come down, right? So what is the best thing to do is to wait for this. But you could play, like I've shown you earlier, to go up there if you felt that there was enough pips there to make it to that level. But you want to do that quick and get out, right? So if you feel you're nimble enough to do that, then you do that. But this is a dangerous area to play in, because you saw what happened to me. I got stopped out 2 times before I got it right? So you can take those risks, but you be aware of the risks. And that's why I like to go in with small risk, because that way I can make it back up if I get it right.
Very good strategy.
I try to get it right every time. That's my goal, but it's not an easy thing to do, right? I've had nice big runs, but I've also lost a few in a row too. So, but you try to keep those losses small. That's the whole key to the game, right?
Yes.
I mean, I watched Nick Sean's strategy. I've used his strategy. His strategy is really good, but you have to have first of all the wherewithal to hang in there and to do that, and then to have the account that you say, okay, I'm going to get this account down to 0 because of the strategy. So he's saying, yeah, you can jump in and if it's going against you, keep buying, or if it's going against you, or if you're selling and it's going against you, keep selling. But it's very difficult for somebody to do that. It's very tough.
Yeah, that's not even worthwhile doing.
But it is
people
though.
that have smaller accounts.
If you have a smaller account, it's tough. But yeah,
You
but it is a
it's
it
not
is a
any tough. It's ridiculous to try.
it's a tough strategy though. You have to really be, you have to have some, moxie there to do it, right? So now that hopefully that makes sense now to you, Omar, right?
Yes, it does.
So you have to start high and then go down and once you understand where you are, the battle is won essentially at that point. Once you understand where you are, once I did this, and if I went back to the 15, and once you did on the 15 and you saw this, and you saw the drop, you know right where you are immediately. So as soon as you see that, then you know that they're coming to take this low. So now it's just for you to get in here and figure out how can I get that play to the downside. That's the better play. But you see when you come down to the lower time frame, you can play to the upside, but it's you have to be quick, right? That's a quick play to the upside. You can do that. But at this point,
I don't think they're finished though. As you point out, the structure there.
Right, because the structure. So there we go. So once we did that, if you jumped in here to play on the 5 minute, if you did that move, you would have to get out here. So you get out here, and then you what are you expecting now? That they're going to come back and take out the high. So you have to,
It's challenging though to get in at this point.
So you can't do it from this level now.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, you can, but again, it's better to go down to the lower time frame. Right?
1 minute is better. Yes.
To take advantage of that. So at this point now, I would be looking for a sweep, and and then that move, right? The same thing here. We see the sweep, we get that move up, get to move back in. This is where you want to get in to catch this move.
There's also a gap too. I don't know if you ever seen the gap.
You mean on this over here?
No, it's a very fine gap.
Over here?
It's probably not on yours because sometimes different
brokers
have different pricing. But there is a fine gap to your just right below the lows there that it just swept. To your
here, yes.
Yeah, somewhere there is a gap.
Yeah, there's a gap
right there.
But so certainly. So, there's a gap there as well. They went through that. There's a gap there that came very close to that. So again, I'm just looking for the retrace of, like I say, 50 to 62%. Whether or not there's a gap is irrelevant to me, but I use it to show you guys that you can use that as a reference if you want. But it's not about the gaps or for me, it's all about the structure and the percentage of the retrace, because it's all a probability game. So the probability is high that we're going to retrace back in here 50 to 62%. So it's just a simple putting the fib on,
and they did
looking for that retrace.
They did touch the gap just now, that fine gap that level. They did touch it, but I'm not sure if you're a broker. I'm not seeing it on yours.
No, I don't have a gap there. And if it's too fine, then you should ignore it. So 50. So all I'm looking for when I see a move like this, where they sweep the high, they sweep the low, is just a 52, 62% retrace. So there's my 62%, there's my 50%. So that is the sweet spot for me. So if I come in here and I get a fractal, I'm in the trade. My risk is very small at that point. My stop is here. I don't have to put my stop way down here.
Yeah.
Because that risk is high. And I'm looking for that move. And that's it. That's the 1, 2, 3. What it's to me, it's irrelevant if there's a gap or order block or mitigation block or breaker block or a consequent encroachment or all this terminology. It's just is too much jargon. We have to keep this thing simple. It's just a structure. It's just a move.
You made a point just now that if you put your stop down to that low, it's the risk is too high.
The risk is very high.
I have been thinking that in terms of football terms, like a defender, a defender defends the goal, and I'm realizing that you have to defend your capital or your equity.
Yes.
So,
it's nothing wrong for you to put your stop here.
Yes.
You're entering over here. There's nothing wrong with it. Your risk is high, but you better be right.
Yeah,
because this 1, 2, 3 is going to go back up. Because if you're wrong, then you're taking a big hit. So you have to be aware of that. That's all.
Yeah, I think this strategy where you have tighter stops, but sometimes if it's too tight, it will take you out of the trade and then take off without your
well, in this case here, if I see this and I see this move and I put my stop here and get in here and I get stopped out, obviously I'm wrong. They're not done. So that's worth the price for me, because I'm wrong. They're not done, and that's it. But if I put my stop down here and they come down and take me out, yes, they're not done, but I'm taking a huge hit, and it's like, ow, I'd rather take a small hit than a big hit. That's all I'm saying.
But it is a key point that and that's why I keep mentioning it, because if you're not defending your capital, it's
going to be gone.
Yeah, you always have to be defending it. So sometimes you get stopped out for like break even or a very tight stop, and then the market take off without you, and you're upset about that. But you could take you out for a bigger stop and then take off without you as well. So defending the capital is key.
So what are they doing on the NAS right now? You guys should be able to see this. You should be able to see what they're doing, because we have a 1, 2, 3 up here, and then another one, and then they drop it. So they're coming to take these lows out, right?
A, B, C, D, E, right?
So they're just chopping it. You see, they're just chopping this right now. All they're doing is accumulating right now and manipulating everybody. So they're manipulating the buyers and the sellers because they want to drop it. So if they want to drop it, what are they going to do? They're going to go back up first. Why? Because they get cheaper prices up here. So it's best for them to induce everybody to buy, and then people will push up. And then when they get up here, they induce everybody. They've taken everybody out, and then they're going to leave everybody in the dust and drop it down quick. See? So that's the ploy. So they're chopping it right now in a fourth wave.
So how do you call the top on that one? Because it's kind of difficult.
How do I call which?
Call the top. How do you know if the top is already in play?
The stop?
No, not the top.
Here?
The end of the fourth wave, yes.
Okay, so
I'm
all
not
right.
seeing.
So if we have the 1, 2 up here and we drop, because everything in between is just another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would consider this our 3, right? So
yes.
Now you know where you are. So we got an A and a B and a C and a D. So we're expecting one more leg, right?
Okay. And
right?
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any gap above there. So how far will they go?
There doesn't have to be a gap or anything. Again, don't even think about it in that way. Think about it in structure way. Structure beats everything.
Yes. And the percentage as well too.
If you really want to look at the gaps, if you're really, keeping that in your mind about gaps, then there is a gap here. So there is one here, see? But it's an inverted one. So if you want to really use the gap, there's an inverted gap there, see? So that can come into play as well. They come into it. They can come back into it again. You see? There doesn't have to be a regular gap there. I think the gaps, people get too much into the gaps. It's not as profound as it all is. It's helpful, yes, but it's the structure that's the key. The structure.
So it's about what about the percentage retracements?
Those are very, very, again, the same kind of thing. So if I'm looking at the retracement, I'm looking at the retracement from my number 3 point, because that was my 1, 2, 3 there, to this level.
Number 2 point. Your number 2 at the top there.
Yeah. So if I'm looking at it as this as a 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
But if I'm looking at it in Elliott wave terms, yes, this would be my number 2 point. So I'm looking for number 2 point down to this level, to this number 3 point. So I want to see a retracement of 38 to 50%. So let me take this guy off. And so I would look for a retracement of this move from that level to down here and say, okay, if I can come in at around 38 to 50% retracement, which is right here, right? And that's the area. And then see, it's in line with this inverted gap. Then that's reasonable. So they're looking to take this high out because they're sellers here. So this is these last guys.
Yes.
We can look at order blocks. There's an order block there and everything too, right? So the order block, fair value gaps. But again, it's the structure more than anything else. So that's what they're doing right now. So that's why the market's slow. There's not much going on. So that's what I'm saying, that most dynamic time of the day is between 9:30 and 11. Yes, you can get some plays after, but they start to chop it all up. They're gone to lunch now, right? It's lunchtime.
The gap, not quite. It's 11:40.
11:40. So it's lunchtime for everybody in New York now, right?
Yeah.
Starting. So it's going to slow down a little bit now. So you can see the structure now when you come down to this level. We're inside this diagonal, and there's the structure. So it's not an impulse where we're not breaking. We're breaking these levels. So it's not an impulse. Once they break these levels, so they're just chopping it. So there's a 1, 2. So they're doing that. They're coming up to take out the high. So once you understand this and you can see where you are, this is playable to the upside. This is playable to the upside. See? So I played that to the upside, right? So you can play this to the upside. You just get your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave moves. Once you get up here now, the real play is back to the downside, because that's the big money play. See, to come back down to this target down here.
Yes, the structure really helps.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful when you can see it.
Yes.
So that's why I'm in and out. Like, again, if I just show you what I was trading last night and everything. So I had a couple of losses there, but I made it all back in one trade. See, boom, more than made it back. So trading last night, look, I had one loss there, and I didn't have a couple of losses there, small ones. But again, you keep the losses small. You had 3 losses in a row, but again, they were not huge, and I can make up. I got a $48,000 win there. These losses are nothing, $8,000 win. So this morning, $16,000 win, $12,000 win. So these losses are not 2 $12,000 wins here. So having a $1,000 loss or a $700 loss is of no consequence.
Definitely.
You understand? So yeah. So that's just matching that. Now, if you're having lower lot size, then it's relative, because instead of a $12,000 win, that would be like 10% of that. So it would be a $1,200 win. So then instead of a $700 loss, right, it's only a $70 loss. You see?
Yeah, so it's all in proportion.
So it's all relative
to
how much your lot size is. If I'm doing 6 lots here, then I'm only doing 0.6 slots here. You understand? So it's all relative to your account size and what you're playing. But you keep your losses small is the key, right? Keep your losses small.
I'm going to lunch, Lennox. Have
All
a
right,
good
so
rest.
we've gone over an hour and 15 now. So I'll call it a day, unless you guys have any more questions and so forth.
No,
but
I'm good. Thanks, Lennox. Thanks, George.
Omar, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks.
No problem. I did go to bed early last night, so I'm feeling a lot more refreshed. I could actually stay up without going back to sleep at this point. But the last few days has been rough because we're just trying this out for the first time this week. So I was going to bed the night before. I went to bed after 1, and to get up at 6 after going to bed at 1 after 1 is tough. And I was up before 6. I was up at 5 and so on. So it was very tough. But last night I got to bed before midnight, and so I didn't even wait for the London Open. And then I was up again at 5 though. So my internal clock is still waking me up early. But I feel okay right now. I feel pretty good.
It gets the key is going to sleep early. You got to go to bed early.
Yes.
Then once you do it for a while, it just becomes routine.
Yeah, I mean,
I try to go to bed. I try to go to bed at 8 because I got to get up to get the kids ready sometimes.
Yes, you got to go to bed with the kids.
Oh, they go to sleep a little bit later than me. I don't play with them.
Well, I was used to getting up at 6:30 or 6 o'clock for decades. I was doing it because I was up trading the New York Open, playing options, and so on. So I'm used to that. But I decided to stop once I retired and everything. I decided, okay, I'm done doing that. But yeah, I don't mind. So what I'd like to do going forward is like with Peter, for instance, Peter and Armin, they're trading Tesla all the time, right? So tomorrow, for instance, at the Open, I'd like to catch Tesla and get it in there on the options.
Tomorrow.
Isn't there?
Markets is going to be closed.
Good Friday.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not even alive here, so I don't even know what's going on. Okay, so no market. Okay, so we're not here tomorrow then.
Yeah, it's Good Friday.
Yeah, Bitcoin's alive, but that's about the only thing, right? Yeah, so yeah, Fridays would be great for Tesla options or any options in any, like on the Qs or SPY and so forth. The options are really great on a Friday. So I'd like to show you guys how you can, if you're ever interested in how to take advantage of options on expiration days, because on Wednesdays and Mondays also is expiration for SPY and detected at the front door. So you can really take advantage of cheap options and make huge profits. Like it's just ridiculous. So I can show you guys how to do that if you're at all interested.
Yeah,
so
I would be.
All right. So we'll call it a day. Thanks, you guys, for hanging in with me. I appreciate it. And again, for those out on YouTube, remember, this is all educational stuff. Don't expect to take the trades we're taking. You got to do it at your own risk. Give us a like and subscribe if you like us. All right.
Thanks, Lennox.
So, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Catch you guys Monday.
You guys are welcome. Take care, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye now.
Okay,
Take
bye.
care. All right.